Okay, and we're live. Nice to have you here. Axel? Did I
Yeah,
pronounce it right?
Axel.
Nice to have you
absolutely.
here.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
And I would say for the listeners, do you want to give a briefly introduction? Like, what are you doing,
Sure.
your music projects, and I don't know, maybe you have other art projects?
Yeah. I'm a Swedish musician living in Canada. I started out in filmmaking. I made a lot of short films and music videos growing up with my buddies, like basement short films, And then I don't really know exactly how music started becoming like a important thing. I think it was when I was 15. In music class in primary school, they force you to do at least something because you have to be part of the class. And so they just forced me to play guitar. And I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. I hate everything.
Was that mandatory?
Yeah, it was mandatory. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Or like you have to do something in class because you're in fourth grade, so you're not gonna be given any other option. So I was like, fine, I'll learn. Fine, I'll learn these 4 Beatles songs, whatever.
Okay.
4 Beatles we all songs. Live in a
yellow submarine. We had to sing that song in the school as well, but we only had like this. We had like music, but it was just singing. But that was like the first 4 grades. Then it stopped. And
thank God.
We had to like sing all the songs, and I mean, I have a super bad voice. All of my classmates had mostly bad voices. It was pure torture.
It is torture because as a kid you don't want to do that shit. You're like, this is lame, this is boring. I want to go like, I don't know, fuck up some shit or whatever. But I really liked it. When we did it live, I was like, wow, what is this feeling? Like when everybody played at the same time, I felt so connected to something for the first time, except for film, It's the first time I felt like, wow, this is actually really fun.
Right, and it was not like a forced cover song of something your teacher asked you for. It was like your own creation that you could like really put your inside out, and I guess that's like 2 completely different worlds.
Yeah, it just felt important to get this right, because at first it was like, fuck these goddamn Beatles songs, whatever, cool. But when we play them, I was like, this is insane, and it was so fun. And then I begged my mom for a guitar for my birthday or Christmas, and she got it for me, and she was like, you better play this now because guitars are not cheap most of the time, and so I promised, and then I got it, and from day one I just played it every day.
Wow, and that's then now
fantastic. 17 years later I still play guitar almost every day because it became such a need. When you find something that you didn't know existed and you just go, oh my God, I'm gonna do this every day the whole time, because otherwise it'll just make you sick. So it just became like a necessity in my life to sing and to play guitar but yeah, that's I guess how it started.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
It's always nice to find something that really brings your life spirits on top and you love to do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing feels forced. It's like a need to eat food or to drink water or to shower. It's always in my head. It's always something that I plan my day around as much as I can, at least. Like we all have to work, we all have to do important grown-up stuff, but music is always, it just needs to be in my day somehow. Always.
Interesting. And your music that I heard from you is with your real name, Aksel Boss. do you have other projects beside that, or is that like the only thing right now?
I have a couple of ongoing projects. I have a band called Mr. Lover.
Nice name.
Mr.
Yeah. Lova.
Oh. Exactly, yeah. We started just getting drunk together and playing, and then we did a cover of the Mr. Lova. And I think
that's great. I love the song. I really love that song.
It's a great fucking song, man. It's such a good song. It's very, very groovy, very like, it's sexy, but it's kind of gross sexy, you know? But like you allow yourself to, it's very like oof. But
like this one Bobby Brown song.
Oh.
Who's the artist again? Frank Zappa.
Oh.
Have you heard from that? That's like super gross, sexy song.
I've heard Frank Zappa, but I don't know Bobby. It sounds super familiar. I'm thinking of Bobby Womack. Or Womack.
Yeah, I don't have the lyrics in my mind right now, but I remember it's like super dark, humorous. I mean, his music is like all comedy, and this one is like so nasty. But yeah,
that's Frank Zappa.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, the Mr. Lowa Lowa song, I could never like hear from somebody who heard that track and he's like, oh, this shit. It brightens up the mood so hard. I mean,
100%.
Even if you're having a bad day, the song comes on and the radio, and you're like instantly, wow.
Oh yeah,
relaxed.
As soon as I hear the, I go, okay, we're about to go into this now. It's gonna be a good fucking moment, even if it's just 3.5 minutes. It's like, all right, I still had 3.5 minutes of good times today, you know?
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
A great song. It's a great song, actually.
Let me, at this point, bring your Pour a Wine song in.
Yeah.
So the listeners can get like a little bit of an image of the music that you are putting out.
Absolutely.
Bro, the stereo field on this track is huge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it. It's like everywhere.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's what I love.
Yeah, me too. I love when songs are like super full and big and kind of, as you feel when listening on good headphones, that you have the feeling of standing in the middle and everything is playing around you. That's so huge.
I love when you can hear the space of the musician or the musicians. You can kind of pinpoint where they are in the room or on the stage, because I feel like a lot of mistakes that younger producers or newer producers do, and I did it as well, and I still do sometimes, is not layering stuff properly or panning stuff properly. But to build that room, you really need to be kind of aware of, okay, well, I am sitting here, my computer's here, the bass needs to be obviously in the middle, but the guitar or the piano or whatever can kind of come in and out. And as soon as I figured out that more layers is usually better, at least for me, for my type of sound. I just started going crazy. So for a while I did like 74 tracks for like, I think that song has not 74, but at least 16. Like there's a bass, I think there's one drum track and then added kicks. And then there's one bass, like 4 guitars, a couple of different voices. So yeah, I think layering is so important if you want to get that stereo feel of being in the same room as the musician, I guess.
It is super important, and panning when it comes to mixing is always like my most favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Because you can, first of all, you hear it right away, and you can like really paint it as if you're a painter. You can paint a picture with that. That's why I found a big fascination for mixing. It's so important, and this song is made very well.
Oh, thanks, man.
Congratulations
I appreciate that.
on that. Yeah, that's a really good song.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, it was so... I think I made it in like COVID. And I just put it off for so long. I didn't really care about it. And then... But it was still one of those songs that just came so easy. Like, I think I made it in like half a day or something. Like, it just came out. But I had such a problem mixing because at the time, all I had was like AirPods.
Oh, yeah.
And a shitty like Bluetooth speaker. So I was like, I'm not like, it's not going to sound good. And then I got these not terrible, but they're not very good. I have these headphones, these newer headphones from the brand Newer. And
haven't heard about them. That sounds so funny.
You've never heard about them?
No.
Okay. They're pretty big. Like, they're not as big as Shure or Audio-Technica, but they make pretty good stuff. Like, they make speakers for beach stuff as well. But
okay,
they're fine. Like, they have very little high end and low end. They're usually very mid.
Okay.
So you could still hear stuff, but it's like, yeah, it's not very good. But I mixed on those. So that's why I was so surprised that the whole EP came out sounding so crisp and wide, because I really had no idea what I was doing. And since then, I've honestly tried to replicate every song I make to kind of fit into that same soundscape or category.
Yeah,
because I really liked. It just came out of an accident, I guess. But yeah, you know, once you find something that you like, you just want to stick with it, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of part of your personal branding and the branding of your music. And that's also super important.
100%.
This is something like every music producer should keep in mind. Instead of like wasting tons of money on getting every time new plugins. If you find like one that you really enjoy, there's nothing wrong about using it on every single track. Because 100%. At the end of the day, like your favorite reverb will always get this characteristic. And over time, it will become like a signature of your style. And this is so important.
Absolutely.
Also a big money saver by not buying like 30 different reverbs. Get like one or two that you are really enjoying and stick on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't think I've ever bought a single plugin, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I always, I mean, I've downloaded plugins like free versions and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of them are really good for free versions. Like, I mean, there are some plugins that are so simple, but they leave so much air in the mix, or they give that extra punchiness for the drums or whatever it is. But I don't feel like I have any need for any other plugins except maybe for a reverb, actually. Yeah. I use Logic, because you use Logic too, right?
Yeah, but the Logic reverb is so good.
Yeah, like Space Designer is amazing. even the thing that I do the most is because when I get into a creative mode, I just like to ride the wave and like work as fast as possible to get me to the point where I can just play. Like
I totally get that.
Yeah. So the thing I do when I want to record vocals or put reverb on a piano, I just hit a new track, so the electric piano comes up.
Yeah.
And then in that piano, there's 2 buses for 2 reverbs. So I just put those reverbs onto my vocals and I exit out of the piano. And it's so quick. And it's not amazing reverb, but it's still good enough where you can, okay, I'll change this out later, or I might even keep it. But
if it fits, it fits.
Yeah, exactly. If it works, it works.
I really enjoyed the chroma verb. That one is also, it's so pretty to watch all this, the sparkles.
It's true. I get very distracted. But it is really good. I just have a problem using knobs and dials. I'm terrible at compressors. Took me years to even figure out what the fuck they were doing. I was like, okay. How does these work? Like, I'm still trying to okay, the release time. Oh, okay, that's way too much,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like building reverbs is difficult, man. If you don't know what you're doing, like me, then it's so easy to just put it on immediately and then leave it,
Yeah, but that's why I like chroma verb. For me, I had the same struggles in the beginning as well. And what really helps are plugins that have this optical thing to it. I mean, on the chroma verb, you see exactly where in the stereo field something is happening. And I mean, if you see the lines clean, then you know that's a very dry signal. And the more you turn up the wet button, the more it gets washed out, and you can really see what you're hearing. And same for compressors. This for a long time I didn't understand compressors as well, till I came across this FabFilter Pro Q, and there you could exactly see what's happening to the sound. You see like the sound wave, and you see exactly how much is pressed down. Also, when using it for a sidechain, you see exactly with the release how long of this wave it's gonna cut off. And by adjusting the knee, you see how hard the curve is. And all that stuff made it so easy to understand.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I guess that's dependent from person to person. Some learn with like optical input, some learn with only the ears. I mean, there are people that can listen to audiobooks and then they remember every single word out of that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not like that at all. I wish.
Me too. But the good thing is I can like listen to my favorite podcast like 10 times and always hear something new.
That's so true. Dude, that's so true. I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah, it's true. It's the same when I watch movies. I tend to just space out. So I remember even as a kid, I'd rewatch the same movie 10 times in like a week just because I was like, oh yeah, I didn't notice that the main character died or whatever it may be. I just completely, just ADHD out the window, So I'm the same. When I saw the compressor needle doing stuff, I was like, okay, it's ducking everything and then making it, okay. So then I started being like, okay, I kind of know how to use this. Because I used to put compressors on every track on the master channel, like 2-3 compressors. I was like, why doesn't it sound punchy? It's because everything is at the lowest level, but it can't, everything is fighting with each other at the level of like, you can't hear any bass, you can't hear any mids. It's just a jungle of idiocy,
Yeah, I see that. So have you self-teach yourself also everything on the production side?
Yeah, I'm pretty much
with YouTube videos and stuff.
The what, sorry?
Like with YouTube videos or...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I went to music school in Sweden for 2 years, but it was just playing music. Like we never recorded anything. We recorded things once, but I don't think I was there that day.
Okay.
And it was just folk music, so it's like Polish, da, 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 you know.
Okay, I
and
see.
it was a lot of fun, but it was like I just wanted a year or two to just learn. I mean, playing music with people is so fucking amazing. It's the best thing ever. So doing that for 2 years was the best. But when it came to recording, I had no skills. So yeah, I literally had to go from zero and just work my way up. And I'm so happy I did it. I'm so happy I followed through, because it's such a big leap. It's such a big mountain to climb. It's very intimidating. Like, I used GarageBand for the first couple of years and had a lot of success with it. Like, I really do think GarageBand is a great starter software.
It actually is. It's like
it's really good.
Light version of Logic, and you can do so much.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can do a lot, but as soon as you want to do detail-oriented work, then Logic is right there, ready for you. So
yeah,
it was a very easy transition. Like, say if I would have just started with GarageBand and then went into FL Studio, it would have been a massive like culture shock, you know, because it's a very different software.
Totally get that.
And but yeah, I just learned by making mistakes. And excuse me, I think a lot of kids these days, or a lot of aspiring producers these days, they're at a disadvantage because of AI and free beats online. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't have Wi-Fi until I was like 18. Like, we had some internet, but it was very, very limited. So
like,
I could never sample.
When the phone call is coming in, the internet is gone. Like this that was the same here as well in the beginning.
yeah, it was very primitive. And I mean, I didn't grow up dirt poor, but we didn't have a lot. So when internet was a thing, I was like, oh shit, we might get internet. And my friends, they were like, what do you mean get internet? I'm like, yeah, we might get Wi-Fi soon. And they're like,
okay.
What? I'm like, they didn't really get it. But my point is, I think limitations really do breed creativity. And when you have so many like plugins or instruments or sample packs or whatever, I think sometimes it limits you because you don't have to put the work in, so to speak.
First of all, that, and on the second point, you can waste so many time on like, okay, let's try this compressor. This doesn't sound good. Let's try this compressor. Yeah. But in the end of the day, and I would say for sure, if you take like a really professional producer or mixing mastering engineer and give them only stock plugins and give them the same song to mix and master to a, like, let's say, amateur producer with like the most expensive, super well quality plugins, the pro would still get a better result with the stock ones.
Probably, yeah. I think so too.
It doesn't help you having 5 compressors if you don't understand what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And it took myself, for example, a long time to realize that. I wasted so much money. Like every month, my half salary went into like music production stuff, hardware and samples and whatnot. Till I got to a point like, this is ridiculous. I'm like just spending a lot of money and still don't understand how this shit is working. And now
this is ridiculous. Yeah, I know that feeling.
And now I'm super happy, just like invested time instead of money in actually figuring things out, and everything leveled up. I deleted so many plugins that I bought, limited to like a bunch that I really understand, and stick with them. Yeah.
How often do you use samples?
For, let's say, drums all the time. Like not loops, but one shots.
Yeah.
Then for like ambient sounds, like rain recordings and that kind of stuff. Back in days, I did way more with samples. When I started doing the lo-fi hip hop, I used more samples. But I started actually with electronic music, and there's like synthesizers, and you can do super basic stuff. You can just like pick a few notes and make something cool out of that. Or just like put down 4 chords, having an arpeggiator, making a melody out of that, and you're good to go. But in the beginning of lo-fi hip hop, I sampled a lot. I know, you know, like melodies and stuff. And now I kind of get away from that again. But what I really like to use are MIDIs. Just to get like a chord progression.
Oh, like MIDI packs and shit?
Yeah, exactly. Because then you're totally free to change them up and also do the whole sound design thing. I mean, you can have the same MIDI pack without 200 producers. Let's say 50 would be lazy and just have the same melody with a different sound played. But the other 50 will actually, form that. I mean, just by
use
having
it as a bass.
Or having like a simple melody, only by putting a cool delay on that, it turns into a whole other melody, because then it's not like
absolutely
dum, dum, it's like dum, 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 dum. And it starts to layering itself just with delay. I love delays. That's
me too, man. It doesn't take a lot for a sample or a MIDI chord pack to sound different, and I think samples are amazing. Like I use samples. Every time I make music, I use samples, like whether it's a one shot or like I made this I made this beat a couple of weeks ago, and my friend was like, man, this is amazing. But I was like, yeah, but I didn't really do anything. I just put it all together. So I was like, I'm not even going to release this because it's just like, it doesn't feel like mine yet. If I change stuff around and like, if you change stuff around enough, then you can probably get away with it. But
it depends. I mean, there are like millions of royalty-free samples that you can just take out of the box, put them in a track and then release them. But also, I really love sampling stuff. I mean, you take a sample and you cut it apart like 10 times, rearrange the parts so it's not playing from A to B. You make like different sections and just flip them and switch them and reverse some of the little snippets and get something completely unique out of that. And if you know how to really mess with samples, that's the most fun you can have.
Oh my God. Dude, I don't know how many times I've gotten drunk and or high or whatever, and you're just chilling the whole night, and I love making mashup songs. Like I took the Wonderwall like guitar, and I put you know that song, Shawty's like a melody
in my head. I love that one.
I mixed those up and I put DMX in there, like the X go give it. I put that in there.
Okay, interesting.
So I love making mashups because it's just like there's no pressure. Like I know this is not gonna make or break any career move. It's like it's just a puzzle,
and it's
like
fun.
A stupid puzzle. Oh, sorry.
And it's really fun to do. Also,
it's so much fun.
I don't know how it's for you, or if you're like spending a lot of time on social media, but like this mashups on, let's say, TikTok are doing so well.
Yeah, did you see that There I Ruined It account?
I guess I know which one you're talking about. I'm not following them, but like videos are showing up from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, they're amazing. I don't know if it's one person or a team, but a lot of those mashups are brilliant. Like, there's another guy called Neil Cicierga, I think, or something. He makes a lot of cool mashups too. I think Spotify's all taking them down because it's all like he takes Homer Simpson sounds and put it into the
Okay.
Like he makes really weird shit, and it's brilliantly, if you actually listen to it, and like when you're done laughing at it, if you listen to it, it's very well structured and very well mixed and mastered. Like they're really cool songs.
So
but they're
he also knows what he's doing. It's not like just for fun. It's probably he's producing good songs, and on the side he's doing like funny little projects.
Exactly.
Wow,
do you know the do you know the Ultimate Showdown?
Nah.
Okay.
Or maybe I know it. I'm just super bad with names. You have to know.
It's the this is the Ultimate Showdown. You don't know it?
Nah.
If people know it, that's the same guy. It was a huge internet meme when, like, 15 years ago. It was massive. So that's the same guy. Yeah. Anyways, what were you saying?
Oh, there's this one drummer guy on TikTok that I really love. I really love his videos. He's taking like AI just to make like let's take this song and have it sang by this one, like taking a Queen song and have it sing by Britney Spears, and then he's like listening to it, and then he starts playing the drums on top of that.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that guy. He's a younger guy, right?
Yeah, and he's always wearing this neon-colored headbands.
Yeah. Maybe I haven't noticed that, but yeah, he's a great drummer too. I like how skeptical he is of everything he puts together until it becomes good. Because it's like, it is weird, but it does work. Like
he always
Britney
makes
Spears
that face.
Definitely
like,
sing this. Yeah,
but I mean, for this example, AI is so fun. I think you should. It's nothing bad about using AI for like entertaining content. The only thing that like really is bad, in my opinion, is that people can actually have full songs created. Don't tweak not a bit on that, and just like put millions of songs on Spotify and whatnot every single week. And just like flood the market.
Exactly. Yeah, it definitely saturates the market for everybody, which is like, it's expected. You know, it was the same thing with when people could make music from their homes. You know, like home studios are now so cheap. Like all you need is a microphone and a computer. But I think it scares me. Like AI itself, it doesn't really bother me, but it's the lack of creativity, like the death of creativity, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of the users behind that. It's not the AI itself that makes the problem. I mean, let's say you're a music producer and you have a specific trumpet solo in your head. And you're creating the MIDIs. And then it would be like awesome just to upload the MIDI that you created and say, hey, make me a live orchestra sounding trumpet solo with this MIDI. Yeah. That would be amazing. And there is like, I always see this ad for like synth GPT where you can just type in something and it makes you a synth sounding like that.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't.
No.
But in my opinion, like something like this is actually super creative.
Absolutely.
Because you still have to do the work. You don't have to do the work of having the sound designing done. And I guess a lot of sound designers will hate me for that.
Yeah.
But it's for, let's say you're just a producer.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But on the other side, learning sound designing is also a fantastic thing.
Yeah, but that's a massive journey. I think that's even way bigger than anything I've learned so far in music production. Like that goes way beyond learning the DAW. It goes way beyond learning Echo Boy. It's crazy. I thought I was cool with it because I have a synthesizer, like it's a MIDI synthesizer. It has some knobs. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna I'm Pink Floyd now, you know? So I hooked it up and I was like, this is really fucking difficult because
but it's also so funny. This is something I want to do like in the how do I say, in the closer future.
Yeah, near future, yeah.
In the near future, I'm making like videos on sound designing because I really have a lot of fun doing that. I was never deep into it till like some weeks ago, and then I got like really hooked with that.
Oh,
but it comes with the understanding, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, I think you need a reason to really get into it because, at least for me, I don't think I've been given or acknowledged the opportunity enough to be like, okay, well, this is a perfect opportunity for me to like really sculpt this piano or synth.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way too with the death of creativity. Like I overuse samples all the time. I use presets all the time.
Yeah, that's totally fine, actually. So
yeah, I think it's fine, but I don't think
nothing bad about that.
Reasons. No, but I think it's not always for the best reasons because I just want to get to it, you know. I just want to let's just play. But there's so much other stuff that you need to set up first before you can actually get that perfect synth or make that song in this way or this shape, you know. I think that's where I just need to be more disciplined sometimes.
Yeah, but bro, you know that the signature song of Gorillaz.
Yeah. Feel Good Inc.
Yeah, how it was made from like a toy piano sample.
Yeah.
That are just like playing on this toy piano, and it's exactly this sample that's so
Rock
iconic.
1 or whatever. It's like rock preset 1.
I guess so. And it's just like a little toy. And I mean, I just loaded it up. The song has like 1.6 billion streams on Spotify. And it's made with a toy piano preset.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's crazy.
Everybody knows this sample. I can't imagine a single person who's not knowing that song meanwhile. Yeah,
exactly. They might not know the name, they might not know the project or the band, but they know when they hear it, they go, "Oh yeah, for sure."
It's a great tune.
Good song. It's a great song, actually.
Hey, bro, this poster behind you, I want to believe, is that the one that is actually from the X-Files?
Apparently, yes. I've never watched the X-Files.
What?
But no, never. When I was a kid and I had trouble sleeping, I used to put on the TV. And you know, back in the day, the TVs were like, if you turned it on, the sound would come first, but the screen would still be black.
Yeah.
So I would just hear the intro music of X-Files and I'd be terrified because it's like,
yeah.
And I'd be like, fuck. And you can't change the channel until the TV is fully on. So I never watched it out of fear. But when I went to like,
I love this show. I really love this show. Yeah, it's one of my most favorite shows. Even though it's super old, I discovered that like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I binge watched everything out of that. It's so great. I mean,
there's a lot of seasons too, eh?
Yeah, and it's so freaky. It's super freaky.
Maybe I'll give it another shot now because I love horror and I love mystery and aliens and
it's more mystery than really horror. There are like some terrifying scenes to that. But man, this show is so brilliant. It actually reminds me now to rewatch it again.
Yeah. When was the last time you rewatched it? Or you only watched the whole season once?
Like all the season I watched like two years ago, I guess.
Okay.
But then I binge watched everything.
Yeah. It's time to revisit it, Anton. It's time. You gotta.
It's really good. And I mean, this the main actor is also like one of my most favorite actors. David Duchovny. He's the guy from Californication. If you have seen Californication.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it. That name is... Oh, yeah, David... He's also in an episode of something I saw fairly recently. It's not Prison Break. Or is it Prison Break? I can't remember.
I don't know. But he's also started like a country music career.
What?
As a side project, yeah.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, he did. I can send you the link later.
Yeah, please. Dave, man. Fucking going at it. That's awesome. I'm so happy when people start playing music, man. Like, there's been so many times where I used to live in the apartment building before. I'd go to like a music gig. I'd have my guitar and my piano and my microphones with me. And in the elevator, some people would go like, "Oh, you're a musician?" I'm like, yeah.
Nah, that's a gun inside my guitar pad.
Yeah, yeah, back up. No, but I would ask them too, like, "Do you play music?" And they would just go, "Nah, I used to play." But I'm like, "Oh, why'd you stop?" And they're like, "Oh, job." And like, I totally understand, but like, dude, there's time. You still have 20 minutes per day.
Yeah.
Like, stop scrolling or whatever. Just pick up the guitar. It makes me so happy when I hear people, like my friend started playing the mandolin after not playing mandolin for like 5 years. And my other friend started playing the trumpet again. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like,
yeah,
it feels so nice to know that people are playing. Like, I'm getting sweaty.
I don't know, but music for me is like the most important thing on earth.
Absolutely.
And for every single occasion, I mean, let's say it starts with the alarm clock. Let's be honest. It starts with the alarm clock that kind of defines your mood.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand like some people that have super harsh or like stupid alarm clocks. Makes me crazy.
Oh, yeah. I get what you mean. I have to be better at it too, because I just got a new phone, so now I have two phones.
Mm-hmm.
So this morning I had two separate alarms at the same time ringing in like stereo, like tremolo.
Oh man!
And it was such a bad idea because one is like and one was like it fucked with my head so much.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, I was just awake instantly, but it's such a shitty feeling. But yeah, you're right. You have to everything. It's like a lifestyle, you know. It's like going to the gym every day and eating super healthy. Like, you need to be mindful about so many things: what you put in your body, what goes out, what kind of music, who, you know, the people you listen to, the people you have in your life.
Yeah, if
you don't have,
just keep on, and then I come back to that.
Okay, yeah. If you don't have a basic harmony in your life, I mean, even if you do or you don't, it will affect your music and the way your music sounds. And yeah, that was just my point. Like, you need, for me, I need that. Yeah, I need to have like a concentrated harmony in my life to be able to make pretty music. You know, if my life is stressful, I'll just make
stressful
crazy
music.
techno, which is just like too rushed, you know.
I totally see
it's
that.
Crazy.
And I mean, it's always kind of putting your inside out when creating music. I mean, even though if you give like 5 people the same sample that are in completely different moods, they can transform a basic sample into something that really represents their mood, even though it's always the same melody.
Yeah.
But like you put the effects on it or how you EQ them, they will get a completely different feeling out of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
Oh. Yeah, you can shape it. You can shape things so easily with just, I mean, it's not even something that I realize half of the time, but depending on what mood I'm in, I'll make a song and then I won't release it. And then like a year later, I'll be almost transformed back into the same mood I was a year ago. And it's such a, you know, that feeling when it really hits you, you're like, oh, wow, I was living there with that person, or I was working there at that time.
Yeah.
It's such a mind fuck, you know, it really trips you out.
Especially when you're doing music where you write your own lyrics to that and sing I mean, you can definitely like listen back to your music and just hear how your voice sounded in that recording. And depending on that, you will get way faster into the mood than only with instrumentals. And oh man,
absolutely, I totally agree.
I really wish I could like do something like that. I mean, writing your own text and sing it. I kind of somehow at some points played like with the idea of like making like very mid auto-tune music, but I never got to do that actually.
So you don't sing typically?
In the car, like sing along to a song or something, but not in the production.
Okay.
My voice is horrible for that.
No, so. I think you should give it a try, because you'll be surprised on what you could do with your own voice by just practicing. Because it's the same thing when I go on stage, and I mean, I've been singing for like 17 years almost, and people, not to blow my own trumpet, but people ask me sometimes, like, how did you get to this point of how good, quality? I'd be like, it takes time. Like, there's no easy way. It's like working out. You have to put in the hours, you have to put in the effort, you have to do it even though you don't want to sometimes, just to keep it, at the same standard quality. Or it's like the trumpet, you have to practice.
Yeah, I can fully agree on that. You can really get everything possible with practice.
Yeah.
Probably need a teacher for that. But then there's this other point in Switzerland, you can't just like not simply afford a teacher. That's the price is here only to learn like an instrument. It's like super quick. It gets to like $100 an hour and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like way too much.
It's a lot.
And
it's like going to the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. And if you mean that really serious, I mean, then you have to practice like twice a week. Then you can.
Oh, at least.
I mean, with a teacher, you can still practice at home, but for the beginning, I mean, if I would be like stupid rich, I would just like pay someone to teach me piano and pay someone to teach me singing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the main issue here.
I think I would do the same. I've always wanted to learn like classical piano.
Yeah.
But it's such a difficult instrument to begin with. Like it's an easy instrument to learn, but to really become good at, for me, it looks like a math equation.
It is
terrible at math. Yeah. I mean, if you break it down, it's all math, but
that's actually how I really start to understand like some parts of playing the piano, or at least I can make now my own chords and stuff. Because I understood it after getting like this mathematical explanation.
The 3-5-7s and
yeah, exactly. I guess it was it was Nick Mira, the beatmaker.
The producer.
Yeah, and he explained it in such an easy way. Like, okay, you take your root note, then you go up 7, and then you take your middle finger and put it on the 3 or on the 4. The one is the happy chord, the other is the sad chord. And then I'm like, try it out. Oh, that's actually true. Also, with Logic, it's so much fun to kind of just jam. Because you see what chord you're playing right now. That helps so much.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I was like, when I noticed that it's the same in GarageBand. When I noticed it the first time, I was like, that's a C sharp diminished 11 or whatever. I'm like, fucking sick. I was like, okay, I'm a fucking jazz player now. It's insane. It's so helpful.
Also, kind of at some point you have to kind of accept that you can also not give a shit at all about all that theory. Because
of course.
You can just like play, and if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Oh yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to remember when you make music. It's like I was recording a song last night, and I was trying. I got the drums perfect, at least perfect enough to kind of jam. But then the piano, I was just doing way too much stuff. But the song just needed like a da 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 you know?
Yeah. Something and super basic.
Yeah, super basic, and it actually helped so much. And I try to remember this all the time. My friend's father, who used to be in the music business, he said, music is just silence that you decorate.
Oh, so that's...
It's so true, right?
So
and
good.
As soon as I was like, whoa, man. Okay, you have to write a book fucking tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's because it's so true. It's like you start with nothing, and then it's up to you to decorate silence. And the more silence you have, it's good. You don't have to fill everything with this mumbo jumbo. Fucking everything has to be quantized, and everything has to be, filled up. Leaving space is so important.
Always kills the vibe when it's too perfect.
Yeah,
it just kills the vibe.
It becomes robotic, and that could be cool too for music. I mean, I love when everything is on beat, but you, especially for hip hop or lo-fi, especially, like, you want something to drag. You want something to make it more alive, essentially. But like you said, it takes out the groove otherwise.
For me, it's actually with any kind of music. It doesn't have to be hip-hop beats. It's even though in a rock band.
Yeah. For sure.
And also in electronic music, actually, the whole offbeat sounds, that are the ones that really get you. Because everything on beat, if it's well produced, it sounds nice, but then you have this one little offbeat pluck, ding, ding.
Yeah.
And this really gives it that soul and that spirit that gets you going.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. When me and my band now were recording our EP, I'm kind of the person in the room saying, like, oh, we can fix it afterwards. But the guy in charge of recording it, he was like, no, man, it's all about the performance. Like, you can put autotune on whatever the fuck you want to do when you're Aksel. But right now, we're just going to get it again and again and again. And it taught me to never give up, because it's so easy to just hit Q and quantize it, or to fix it and flex tune later, or put an autotune on it, whatever. But when you're really pushing yourself into hitting that note or doing that guitar lick or piano lick, it changes the whole process of the making the music, but also it'll change the song for the better. Like, if you really put time and effort into that song, instead of just looping stuff, or it's so different.
It is, and in the end of the day, you're going out of the studio and being like a 1% better musician than the day before.
Absolutely.
And by repeating that over and over with this same approach, that's how you become good. I mean, this is also something that I had to realize in the music career, is like, sometimes you just like have to let things go. You make a song, maybe even if you're not fully happy with it, you can also kind of tweak a bit. But in the end of the day, you have to let it go and then do a new project and put the things that you learned and you did well, you take with you, and then you discover a new thing that works, and then you have something more like in your backpack of skills, and then you just like fill it up with new knowledge, and 100 songs later you make your first really good song. Because it usually takes you around 100 tracks to really get to a level where it's pleasant for a lot of people, not just for yourself. Because your ears get used to it. That's why it sometimes doesn't make sense to repeat it over and over again as a solo musician. But like in your story with the band, it totally makes sense to like You
Yeah.
have the song, you have to practice it so long till it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you're, I mean, for the longest time too, we recorded everything at the same time. We just played to a click track. So if I fucked up, we'd have to start over the whole thing, which is annoying if you pay for studio time, but it's very valuable in the long run, like you said, for your backpack of skills.
Yeah.
And it went for the same. Like every time I record vocals, I lay down like a scratch track when I just go, you know, and then I fill in that space with words. And then I think yesterday I probably did 22 takes of just a minute and a half worth of vocals. But I just knew that, you know, sometimes you don't know what you want, but you know what you don't want.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's just eliminating like, okay, I don't want, this doesn't sound good, you know? And there's so many times too where you can just record, you keep all those tracks and then you go over like every syllable or every word. But yesterday I just felt like, no, fuck it. I'm going to do the whole thing in one go, and it'll take time, but I'm invested. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's extremely satisfying once you get it. There's nothing else like it. To nail like a vocal take or to nail a mix or to spend time on it, and it becomes like, yes, I fucking did it.
It's actually like in a video game where you have to beat a super hard boss, and then when you beat it, you're like, wow, nice.
Dude.
It's exactly like that.
Speaking of video games, I heard your Pokemon lo-fi song. Dude, that is a genius song.
The recent one from yesterday.
Was it from yesterday?
I have different Pokemon tracks out. That's why I'm asking. I had one out yesterday.
It's the XY one, I think.
The XY one.
Oh, wait, XY.
No, I haven't done one from XY, I guess. Or is it Snowbell City? The one from XY? Could be that I have one from XY, now that you're saying it. Because the one from yesterday is from Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay, let me see if I can...
Oh yeah, XY is the Snowbell City. That's a really good one.
It must be.
Falkit,
it must be that one.
A great artist. I kind of get into this community of video game cover dudes.
Yeah,
that are doing very well music. They do like amazing covers in different kind of genres, mostly lo-fi, but there's like this one guy, Lucas Cooper, who's making piano solo covers, like only playing the piano, and he's doing a fantastic job on that. And there's also nothing wrong about reproducing amazing soundtracks.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
First I was like, nah, I'm gonna do all originals, but then I got like the taste of that. And now it's like 50-50, like half of the releases are originals and the other half is actually some video game covers. Because as a musician, you don't have the time to play so much video games as when you're a child. But then, like, working on tracks that you really enjoyed back then, it's so much fun, you know?
Yeah, I can imagine.
It really gets nostalgic.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I've never played Pokemon, really. I have friends who played it. But just the vibe of the instrumentals made me feel so nostalgic to the time where I would watch my friends play the Game Boy version or the Nintendo DS. I would be like... And I don't think I've ever done like a cover of a video game or movie soundtrack, but I would love... Have you seen Gladiator?
No. I've seen trailers and stuff, but I haven't seen the show.
Oh, dude, okay, you have to see it. It's a movie from like 2001.
Oh, it's a movie, it's not a show.
Yeah.
I thought it was
no. It's a movie, but the music in it is beautiful. I'll send you something after we chat, but that's the one track that I would love to recreate.
Yeah, and it's also fun to recreate such songs because, I mean, the composers of TV shows and composers of video games, they're doing a fantastic job. And also, if you're releasing a cover, you have to credit them. That's like necessary. And I guess with that, you give them like a second life. Let's say the song is from a super old video game. We take Pokemon, the yellow one, the very first one, and we recreate a beat from that 8-bit melody from back then, because you didn't have like other options on the old Game Boy, and it really gives it a new life. And people love like covers from their favorite TV shows and video games. That's so huge. I mean, those songs perform so much better than the original ones. Probably, because the composer were geniuses, and let's say my originals are not on the level of this genius composer. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the nostalgic aspect to this.
I think so. And also hearing the 8-bit version in the game while you're playing it is obviously one thing, but then to hear it on like a classical grand piano in a basement or whatever, it adds a new, what is it called? Dimension to it, you know? Exactly. It's the same thing. Like we were talking about doing covers together, like Teenage Dirtbag, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm like, so happy to get on
dude,
this
we have
project.
To do it, man. But that song is so iconic and good and like very like early 2000s. But then you see somebody do it on a classical piano with no vocals, and then you see like a punk band do a version of it, or you see a violinist quartet do it. And it's so, like, the song will always stay the same. The message is still the same, but different articulations of it and different ways of performing it is always going to be so fun and so interesting to listen to.
And also you can fully feel free on cover songs to add, like, other elements to this.
Yeah.
Or maybe write your own little counter melody on top of that. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Also, maybe you know the song, or probably you know that one because you grew up in Sweden. Also a cover that I have on my bucket list now. I had a podcast with a guy from who actually grew up in Canada and now moved to Scotland. So you did like the crossover thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This one song from this Norwegian guy who won the Eurovision Song Contest, Fairy Tale.
I know it's the violin guy?
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't heard that song in...
and it's such a good mood. I mean, the song really gives you this nice feeling.
It's very dramatic and feel good at the same time. It has a very important like message, but you can still...
Are we talking about the same song?
Yeah, I think so. The Norwegian guy, kind of curly hair.
Alexander Rybak.
Yeah, Alexander Rybak. Yeah.
Rybak, exactly. Rybak. Yeah. This one. But I just was slightly confused because you said of this super important message. For me, it's kind of like a love song, I guess.
Oh, it probably is. I don't remember the lyrics, but just the strong violin.
Oh yeah, that's so
like
emotional.
In the beginning. It feels very like, okay, everybody listen the fuck up. This guy's got something to say, you know.
And the song is,
but it is a love song. I forget what it's about even.
And it's so funny. The violin is recorded in 230 BPM. That's what's making it so intense, you know. Because I got like the midis from that, and there are maybe halftime then, but still super fast.
God damn, 230?
230, I guess, something 236 even. the original BPM. Oh,
that's
I just misclicked something here. Yeah.
God damn, that's fast.
That's super fast. Yeah.
That's past like punk rock, crazy shit even.
Yeah, but it's double time.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
you're producing in double time. But still,
yeah, does it help you to record lo-fi in double time, or do you just do
no,
like
it's
if you
so
do 60
confusing.
BPM?
It's so confusing in double time. Yeah, there was a phase that I really want to make like some trap beats.
Oh yeah.
I have no talent for 808s. That's why I gave it up. But
it's difficult, man.
All the videos are like in 140, 150, 160, 180. I'm like, hell, what the hell is going on? I produce techno in like the range of 120 to 130. Why the hell is he talking about 140 till 180? That doesn't make sense.
It is such a different vibe as well. Like I like some trap songs, but it's such a different monster to me. Like 808s as well. It's very difficult for me to mix them because usually they'll have a kick embedded into it, which I don't like. I like to have everything separate.
Yeah.
But
I see your point.
Yeah, it's just like I don't like when stuff is baked in to a sample or to like I want the ability to change or tweak it, and you could EQ it, but then you lose some of the punchiness of the bass.
Exactly. So, and I had kind of similar problem with that as well.
Yeah.
And also when it came to sound design, I tried to like 101 recreate some YouTube videos. It never sounds the same somehow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's a skill in of itself too. Like I've seen some kids on YouTube, like some 15-year-old crazy people who they will recreate a theme song from like The Office or X-Files or whatever, and it'll sound almost exactly the same.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
It's insane to me. I could never do that. And I think that's not just the thing I want to focus on, but I admire that. The patience.
This one guy that speed runs beats. Yeah, there's this one guy that just like speed runs beats, also like in a video game, like 13 seconds to recreate that super hyped Billboard song.
Exactly. We might have seen the same guy. I think he's Filipino.
Okay, could be.
Have you seen the Filipino guy? He's got glasses.
There are two guys. Yeah, I know the Filipino one. And there's another guy, way younger one, like a super younger. And he's like he starts sweating recreating that songs. And they even have made a video together.
Ah.
Yeah. They made a video together that I saw recently. If I find it, I will send it to you.
Yeah, please.
That's so much fun.
I think they're so fun. It's such a wild idea because the point of making a song is like take your time with it. Don't settle for less. Like really, take your time with it. But it's funny to see when people have like a recipe for a specific type of song. They just know exactly what to add, and the concept of speed running a song is just so ridiculous.
Yeah, and the guy that you talking about, he speed runs his own original production, and the other guy is like speed running copies. He takes a beat that's famous, and he tries to recreate that in the fastest way possible.
Crazy.
And then
that's
he recreates melodies and everything. But yeah, he told in the video, they two had a chat, that he actually really practiced for that and does it over and over again just to speedrun it like for a clip in 15 seconds. And he's doing... And yeah, the other guy, the Filipino guy, I can't remember his name, but he's like recording in 300 BPM just to slow it down. And he can get the piano faster. Yeah, that's so funny.
That blew my mind. He was just... All right. And then he stretched it to halftime, and it was a beat.
It was a vibe. It's always a vibe.
Yeah, he's really fucking talented, man.
Yeah,
he's really, really good.
I mean, you have to kind of think in different dimensions. You cannot just think in the dimensions that you are in. It's also played at the same time.
Yeah.
Just with your hands on the piano.
I know. That's what blew my mind, because you can obviously time stretch whatever you want, but the fact that he played MIDI and consolidated it and then stretched it, and he consolidated it at the same time he finished this last note. It was just a waveform, and then he just pressed a couple buttons and it was finished.
Yeah,
like so crazy. Again, toolboxes, like your backpack. I'm sure it's useful for him. For me, I'll take my time with it. I don't mind spending 2 extra hours on something to get it right.
And you don't have to stress yourself actually, because everybody got his own clock or his own timeline, and just have to kind of be true to yourself and not get distracted that fast. It's so easy to see something like that and then get distracted and try to recreate that. Or the same happens for many producers that are, or I guess also for bands that see like a big hype coming up, trying to recreate that.
Yeah.
But not, I guess people that are creating new hypes, they are not creating them for the hype, but because it's like their own style and it's their vibe. And you cannot recreate a vibe from someone. You have to be truly truthful with how you are. And like I already said that in this podcast, just turn the inside out.
Yeah.
What's inside of you and bring that into your musical piece. And also
100%.
What I also kind of realized is getting over these thoughts. Of have to be in a specific box. I would say the first beats that I made in lo-fi are like really basic, that you can like have on tons of playlists. But then I realized it's still not perfectly good. Because it's not the true vibe. And today I spent the afternoon like sound designing some plugs and pads. And it kind of would work in a techno song. Then I'm like, can I make this work in a beat that's also for chill?
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck that, I can. Nobody's standing behind me and saying, no, stop.
Exactly. Yeah, it's completely possible.
And sometimes you have just to like trust in what in the output, that this is like the right thing to do. And it's easy to try to copy a hype that is going on. And I guess there's always the original, and there's like 10 copycats that are getting also famous from that. But then there are like 100,000 other copycats that doesn't get noticed at all.
Oh, yeah. It's the same with like, we're talking about trap music or trap hip hop. And when that became kind of the big next thing, everybody was doing it. Even people who I don't think really liked it necessarily. Like it wasn't really their calling to make trap music, but they were just riding the wave of what's popular. And it's like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you're right. Like you have to just stick with what you have and trust the process and trust yourself that it's good enough for you. Because you should never make music for other people only. You can be considerate. You can be considerate enough and be like, okay, well, maybe this is annoying to listen to. Maybe this frequency is bullshit, whatever. But it has to be for you first. And I think, I've met so many artists who struggle with that, and I struggle with it too. But it's like, you have no other choice. So when you have like a techno synth that you want to turn into lo-fi, it's like you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to.
Like, and why not? You know.
Also, something that I realized is kind of probably other producers are maybe facing that struggle or that fear of kind of not get on the hype train, like I said before. But the thing is, you have always a different zeitgeist, so what's popular will always change. But let's go back to this example with trap music. Hip-hop was super popular since the 90s and is more popular than ever. But that doesn't make old school hip-hop fans, that doesn't transform them into trap fans. And I mean, if you would just stick with your style, let's say you started making hip-hop in the early 20s, and you felt the zeitgeist from that time, and you was perfectly fine with that, there's no need to transform it into the zeitgeist of, let's say, 2015, when trap was like on the top with popularity, because that's another listener base. And I mean, the people that love the 2000 rap music, they will still love it. Or even if new rap in that vibe and style comes out, they will still enjoy that and they will look for it.
Absolutely. That's why I want Eminem to kind of release a new album in the same style that he would do 20 years ago, because I really like Eminem, but his newer stuff, it's just difficult for me to relate to it in a soundscape wise, you know?
I would say you like Slim Shady, same as I do.
I do.
Because I don't like Eminem, I like Slim Shady. Hi, my name is what?
Yeah, man. And the earlier Dr. Dre beats are so full and so, like we were talking about wideness. His beats, you can hear every single thing, and it's by design. But I feel like the newer Eminem stuff is like we talked about, the zeitgeist, you know? It's just, I don't know what it is or who told him to do that, or maybe he told himself to do that. It's not bad music, but it's hard for me to get into. Like, I know Dr. Dre didn't produce it, but Toy Soldiers by Eminem is one of the best, I think one of the best beats ever made, because it's so full and so deep and everything is perfectly leveled.
Yeah,
and it's an honest song. Like he's just pouring his heart out, which Eminem is the best at, you know? Yeah, I really wish he would go back to that, man. That would be so fucking cool.
Was it Stan? Yeah, I guess it's the song Stan from him. It's still like doing super well on like the social media music side, when people are putting music into their videos. It's so often used, but actually the new stuff is only like talked about for a short time because it's controversial. And then it's getting forgotten a week later. I mean,
exactly.
That's the other problem with like the time, or just the attention span is at an all-time low, and it's getting worse and worse. And you know that movie Idiocracy, we really kind of move into this direction. It's so heavy.
I still haven't seen Idiocracy. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time.
I mean, wait. Let me quick check on my phone when this came out. It's an old movie by now.
Yeah, like 2003 or something.
Sorry.
What was that?
That's just kind of a live show from one playing the guitar.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why it came up, but Idiocracy, 2006. I mean, this movie is nearly 20 years old. And
wow.
What will happen in the next, let's say, 20 years? We are moving so fast into the direction of what the movie is about, because the movie is about the future. And it's not like, you know, Star Wars movies where people have this high fantasy idea of the future. We will have flying cars and stuff. No, this movie is about how dumb all the people will become, because they're just watching TV all the time, not doing anything like creative, or only watching trash TV and then become super dumb about that. That's why the name, Idiocracy. And it's so funny. I just tell you like the first 5 minutes what it's about, to not spoil it. But it's about this one dude who's doing military service, and he's like in an underground office, and he just like have to check the archive and sometime put a stamp on a note or whatever. He's like super mid. He have a super mid IQ. Everything about him is like basic as fuck. And then he got frozen for like a military experiment and wakes up in the future.
Yeah.
And then all the people are like really so dumb. They plan.
He becomes the smart guy.
He becomes the smartest guy on earth. And I mean, they water the plants with Gatorade, and there were no normal water because even in the sink to wash your hands and stuff, you open the sink and Gatorade comes out. Yeah, you know it's good for you. It got electrolytes. And he's like, obviously the plants are not growing. You need real water for that. What? Like the one from the toilet? Yes, the one from the toilet.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I have to watch it. That sounds amazing.
This is the funniest movie. And it's so heavy to kind of know that movie for so long and then kind of see only small hints that we really get into this. I mean, trash TV is more popular than ever. I mean, like shows like the Kardashians or whatnot. I haven't seen them, but they get so popular. And
and even like I used to watch, like, do you know Gordon Ramsay? He's the British.
I know what's about, but now I remember. I just had like some stuff mixed up. But he's funny. He's like so mad.
Yeah, he's funny, but that's also, I used to watch that. Like, man, I can't believe this. But yeah, every day for like a year, I watched Kitchen Nightmares and Hell's Kitchen, and it's just trash. Like it's bullshit TV, but it's so dramatic and it's edited in a very dramatic way, obviously. But it's like, it's just stupid TV. But you have a point, because have you seen WALL-E?
No.
Okay, that's
I know what's about, but I have to watch it.
It's the same kind of basic structure as Idiocracy in a way. Like, humans are very obese. They don't move around. They're just sitting in like couches that are floating. They have TVs glued to their faces, essentially. Yeah. And it made me scared, because I'm like, this is, I mean, it's an over-exaggeration.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It shows where we are heading to.
Yeah, definitely. And everything is so convenient these days. Like, you can order alcohol off of whatever app. You can order a taxi right away. You can order food right away. It's scary how convenient everything is becoming. And I don't think it's good, man. I think it's really hindering.
It is.
Us a lot. And
but
like you said about distractions.
At the moment, we have still like people that are super into like intelligent stuff and are chasing like real good innovation, not the like making a new app that makes you more addicted to it. So we are kind of on, in German we would say auf Messerschneide, when you're like on the edge of the sword and you can fall on that way or on the other way. So we are now, I mean, by what I meant with I see us heading to this direction of Idiocracy is that there are hints for this possible future, but there are also hints. We are now in a super interesting time. I mean, with the whole AI and they building robot stuff, we could also end up in a like iRobot scenario with like
Yeah.
or Terminator scenario. Or
Yeah.
let's take like this Neuralink stuff. We could also lead in a completely weird direction.
Yeah.
Also, this
we're in a crossroads right now. We're like, it's like either left or right.
Yeah, oh, that's so crazy. I listened this week to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he was interviewing a guy that makes UFO documentaries, and I'm really into that alien shit. And that was such an interesting episode, because this guest was really like chasing every single event. He went there, he interviewed stuff, he really get into messed up situations. Like he wants to interview two people that saw something. Also, like they saw a UFO, then they saw, it was I guess in England, then they saw like a US helicopter making circles around that. And the next day or a week later, when he wants to interview the two guys that saw that, where like workers from a restaurant are gone, and the workmates told like, yeah, we were just like working here, then like two guys in black dresses, like really like in the Men in Black movie, they described them, came up, then they saw their mates like super white in the face, and then that's the last time they see him. And that stuff, that was an insane conversation. So we have so many possibilities right now how the next few years are gonna turn out, and it's super interesting time to live in. But on the other side, if you could choose a time zone to live in anywhere in history or even future, what time zone would you love to, or do you say time zone? Like, is that the same as the time? Or
what the fuck do you say? I know what you mean. What do you say? Like
timeline, I guess.
Time, or I don't know what. I don't know, but I know what you mean.
In what time would you love to live if you could like just choose? And tomorrow you wake up there.
I would love to be like 20 years old in like 1995.
Yeah.
Like growing up with like before home computers. Mostly I think because I would like to see and take part of the evolution of hip hop.
Okay.
You know, like
fair point.
Because hip hop was so different back then. Like, when I wake up tonight and I'm having a day, and it's very like Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Even before that, like
storytelling type of hip hop.
Yeah, like Sugar Hill Gang, super basic rhythm and rhyme, but it was still so like fucking groovy. I would love to see the transition and transformation in real time.
Yeah,
I think. What about you?
Yeah, I'm actually having that on that would be like the podcast before this one goes on. But for me, it would be like the medieval times. That would be super funny. Or like ancient Greek, like super way back with like times of Socrates and stuff.
Yeah,
I would be super fascinated by that. I know that I would be probably dead with this age that I'm now, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, if you just woke up in medieval time, they would be like, okay, first of all, who is this guy? What are his weird tattoos?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
where
true.
the fuck did he come from? It would be so... they would probably just murder you. Be like, this devil speaks of the future in a very sinister way. It's like,
on the other side would be like the easiest way possible to like start a really big cult.
I've thought about the exact same thing.
And become super influential.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing is, I heard a podcast about this the other day. A guy was talking about like I think it was a comedian. He was talking about like, I don't even know how I would convince people that I was from the future, because I'd be given like, there'd be no proof. Like I could bring a cell phone, but what's a cell phone if they don't have the context of communication, phones? Like,
you have to bring 2 cell phones, and you give one to a person, then call him.
But how would you call them? There's no
true. It would not work because exactly. Yeah. You're right.
I guess you could take a picture and show them. Be like, this is you.
This is black magic. Like, hang that guy.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think too. They would just fucking kill you immediately. Be like, who's this weird fucking guy?
What would something be that you can bring from the now time to the past, so they really believe you? There have to be something super convincing.
I think food. Like if I was transported into the medieval times of like Sweden, I would just give them a bunch of pineapples and be like, look, peel this and then eat it.
Okay.
You will probably keep all your teeth for another 5 years and you will not die in 10 years, like introduce vitamin C to them. And be like, this is the magical cure from the future.
Then like they would say you're a witch. Burn that man.
Oh, fuck, you're right. God damn it. You're right. They'd kill me anyway. Where'd you get this? Yeah, I'd die immediately. Fuck, you're right.
Or probably
I don't know.
In 100 years future would be also interesting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If there's anybody here, even... You wake up and it's just, fuck, it's cold. There's
in
nobody
200
around.
years on Mars.
Oh, shit.
If Elon gets successful, we can meet in 200 years on Mars. That would be so ridiculously
Yeah, I'll see you there,
funny.
Anton. I'll see you at Mars. God damn it. Let's just try to save the planet we have for now,
But there's actually this theory that the Mars was a planet like R.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Because they discovered like remains of water vapor or something inside a rock like years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think, that was one of the when they were looking at it, they were like, oh shit, there's traces of water vapor in the rocks, so there had to be something here. And I think they found some sort of mushrooms on Mars as well, didn't they?
Could be. But also there's this theory because we have flora and fauna. I mean, the animal side and the plant side. And mushrooms is a completely own species.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of theories about that mushrooms are actually not from this planet.
From Earth. Yeah.
Exactly. That's so interesting. I love like weird theories. I really into weird theories.
Yeah, I can tell.
I mean, there's this one Canadian podcast, Jumpers Jump. I don't know if you these 2 Filipino guys just talking the whole time about weird theories.
Is he the guy with the braces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one got the braces. Yeah, always. The energy of this podcast.
Listen, you're not gonna believe. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, I love that guy.
Well, one of my favorite podcasts, and also kind of that one podcast that kind of get my attention on this topic. And for a year, I was just like clueless. I want to do a podcast, but what should I talk about?
Right.
But yeah, music is also a nice thing.
So how did you decide to want to start doing podcasts?
It was, believe it or not, I kind of woke up with this idea in my head. Like, okay, do a podcast and just like ask all your musician friends for a chill talk and just talk about music and life and philosophy and whatnot. I mean, the main point will stay on the art side. I kind of want to... I had a similar, like this voice in my head that just told me, like, yeah, why not making like posts that you are looking for painters, actors, and whatnot, like all the creative aspects we have here.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for a podcast, you have to get interesting topics, and for that you need a special type of persons to like interview. And I would not do a podcast all by myself. That's crazy. But I mean, creative persons have such a wide and bright view on life, on philosophy, on psychology, on so many great topics that I all enjoy. And it really gets into interesting stuff then. Also, talking about music, as we started the podcast, I guess the first hour we just talked about music and nothing else. And I can keep on talking about music over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But also like like this discussion about what would you bring to the past to prove that you are that you are from the future. I mean, that's super creative thoughts that you have to have.
Yeah, it's problem solving essentially.
Exactly, and you need like creative people for creative talks. That would be actually a super cool name for a podcast as well. Instead of chill talks, creative talks.
Creative talks is pretty good too.
That would be
chill talks is nice though, because it makes you just feel like, okay, there's no pressure in this conversation. It's just like if I listen to something, I don't want the pressure of like, oh, this is gonna be this or that. It's just like, yeah, we'll see what happens, and
exactly.
This could be that or
exactly. And it's also kind of get into this. You are not stressed at all. I mean, I guess for the first 2 episodes, I was like kind of nervous, but since then, easy, man. It's just like it's just like having a normal talk. It could be without like the microphone or the cameras and stuff, but it would be an amazing call either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also one of the ideas behind that, and that's kind of I guess one of the most important aspects of this. I really love to collaborations, and also I ask you for doing these covers, and we can also do originals then later and whatnot. But usually when you come down and talk about the collaboration, you only talk about, maybe we should change the snare, or maybe we should change this and that, or how do you think about this melody? And everything is like super focused on the work that we're working on.
Yeah.
But you actually don't really get to know the other person on another level. And this, for me, it makes like, I really enjoy that, you know? I mean, 90% of the guests, or even more, I already had made a song or will make a song with.
Yeah.
And just by get to know each other makes so much things easier.
Oh, 100%. It's everything. It's everything.
And you can like, and you can really like build up a connection, and then you can make like more honest art. Also about kind of mixing the vibes in also more personal, on a more personal level.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's super important to get to know your collaborators in an intimate way. Like conversations, obviously, making music with somebody is like the greatest thing you can do together, because the way you connect when you problem solve, but then also B, you make something beautiful together and it's yours. It's like a gift you give to each other, and
to the world in the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you can just like brighten up the mood of one person with your song,
it's
already like a super thankful gift.
Oh, for sure. it's the nicest gift you can give somebody, a song or music, or even just like, hey, I found this song today, listen to this. And I mean, yeah, it's so important. But I like what you said too about getting to know your collaborators, because it'll give you such a more calm attitude
Mm-hmm.
in yourself when you make music with than other collaborators or whatever. It's like another tool for your backpack. Like,
Exactly.
you know when you were a kid and you were terrified of making phone calls or picking up the phone, you were like, hello.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah. Sure.
but after like a couple of years of calling the doctor or calling whatever, you get used to it.
Yeah.
And that's another. I used to be fucking terrified of making phone calls or picking up the phone, but now it's just, dude, no problem. But you have to really practice at it. So getting to know your collaborators while you work is great, but even better is like grabbing a coffee or like doing a podcast like this. It's like it's everything. Getting to know your collaborators is everything. It'll make a better product. You'll be more comfortable and more confident. It's everything.
And especially, we don't have like this easy ability just like to fly over for a coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what would that be, like a 13, 14-hour flight from Canada to Switzerland?
Dude, at least.
Yeah, that would be like super crazy.
More like 20. I'd have to go to like Iceland at first, and then I'd have to go to Switzerland. So it'd be a long fucking trip.
Exactly. And something else that I kind of realized is, even though we have so many, let's say you take your town where you're living and there are like, I don't know, maybe 50,000 people, or probably in Canada there's a zero more to it.
Yeah.
Switzerland countries are small. But yeah, just to get like, find the right person to make art with in, let's say, just a city is way harder than really connect with other like-minded people on the internet. And
100%.
That's such a cool thing, for real. I mean, making music with other people from like the other side of the world.
It's
so
insane.
Cool.
It's insane.
Also, every country got his like own vibe. I mean, I bet you realize that when moving to Canada, that the people are different, that the mindset is different, that the way they talk is different, and all that stuff. Oh, and if it's not too personal, do you want to share why you moved?
For sure. I came here to study film production in 2016.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I work as a video editor part-time. So I came here and I was only going to stay a year, but after 6 months of doing the film program, I left because I found another acting program that I really enjoyed. So I did that. And then I got an acting agent. So I started going out for acting jobs. But honestly, I didn't like it. I didn't like the audition process. It just wasn't for me. And then I met so many great people here. Like when we were talking about collaborators, every collaborator that I've met in Canada that I've made music with or make music with now has been completely accidental. Like I met them through school or through work. Like this Mexican rapper I'm producing now, he's my boss at a Mexican restaurant. I work as a cook.
Oh,
yeah. So I met him. He was like, yeah, man, I rap. I'm like, oh shit, cool. Well, we should talk. And then we did. And then we produced like, I don't know, 8 songs together.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's so fun to share that ability. Like he's so good at lyrics and he raps in Spanish. So I can't really understand a lot, but he's so fast and so intelligent and talented. But he has no idea about music production. So we work very well there. But then after acting school, and I got into music a lot more. And there's a bigger, or at least before COVID, there was a bigger music scene here than it was in my home city. And the whole thing about immigration and getting my visas were so difficult. And then COVID happened. So it was like 2 years of craziness, you know?
Mm.
But I stuck around, mostly for the people I think that I met here, you know? And now I live with a super close friend of mine. We make films and videos together. We have our own office that we share. So it's very, like my mom said when she dropped me off at the airport, she was crying, and I was crying too.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, "It's okay, you're going home." And I was like, yeah, you know. But it's true. I really found my home. It's cool.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
Even get to have this possibilities to just like move away from your country and just start over in another country.
Yeah,
that's
and even
actually
to like sorry to interrupt, but the possibility of even being able to get that chance of trying out a different country is insane. I'm so fortunate. I'm so privileged to be able to do this, and I'm very grateful. So I'm very grateful for that. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm really thinking for years now what country to go actually to. Because I know that I have to, at one point in my life, I have to move away from here. And this is something that I know like for many years now.
Yeah.
But there's like, I never had like this exactly direction where to go.
I don't think you need to, because when before I came to Canada, I applied for 3 different film schools in 3 different countries. So I applied for one in Prague, one in Berlin, and then one in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself, the one that says yes first, I'll just go there.
Okay.
And so Vancouver said yes first. And I was like, all right, cool. Pack my stuff up and go. So you could just be like, you know, maybe try a similar thing. Like, because taking a class somewhere, that requires you to go there. You know, I mean, you could take an online class, but if you really want to go somewhere, like, I encourage you to try the same thing. Try applying for different classes, or
all good,
whatever you want to do in that sort of area. Just whoever says yes first, just try it. You might hate it, might be shit, but at least you tried it, you know?
Yeah, my idea behind that is now to go like hard on the music production and also with the podcast, and kind of build up this online presence. What was super a terrifying thing in the beginning as well. I mean, like,
of course,
stand in front of a camera. Now I especially got like a good camera that's a bit better than like a phone stuff and all that. And I kind of told myself, at the moment, there's like this monthly income from just art. Mm-hmm. I would just like pick a country that's close to the ocean and is warm the whole year around.
Yeah.
Pick one of those countries and then pack the bags. And even if it's not cool there, by having the chance to do what you're doing actually from everywhere, you can just like switch the location again, or switch it again, and switch it again. And I don't know if you heard about this minimalistic lifestyle, but I really love to keep things super minimalistic. Yeah. Even though the amount of clothes is a good example, you know. Don't need like 50 t-shirts, 10 are enough. Yeah. And then they are fastly packed because you can wash them, obviously.
Exactly. I thought about the same thing.
The only thing that is kind of hard for me then, I guess, I don't have like a huge library, but I now build a library with books that I would like not want to give away.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I don't know, this ebooks where you read on this digital tablet.
Yeah,
it's just not the same. Nah,
it's not the same at all.
I mean, only sometimes, when you're reading a book and then you start like playing with the one page a bit, or it's just like this little things. And
the feeling of the paper, I've always loved, like it's not completely flat. It has some texture of the page. I love that feeling. I don't know why. It's a very comfortable feeling.
Or when they are like freshly packed with the foil, and then you put it, open them, and the smell. The smell of like fresh print.
Yeah,
that's what got me. That's what got me addicted to like trading cards back in the days.
Oh, I can see that.
I have sold them all, but every pack you opened, I was like weirdly smelling on them.
My friend he used to make his own Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh, cool.
And I saw him print a couple of pages at some point, and I smelled the ink, and I think, honestly, one of my favorite smells is tattoo ink. Like, every time I've gotten a tattoo or anything, I just fucking love that smell. I don't know why. It's just so... I love it. It's very earthy.
I never took like a sniff from that. Damn.
You should.
Now I know.
Yeah.
No, well, but like, really, I have never smelled that.
Oh, you have to, man. Just go into a tattoo artist, like a tattoo studio, and just take a smell. Like it's well, I guess it smells a lot like alcohol, like rubbing alcohol and very clean. But yeah, the tattoo ink smells so good.
Yeah, and the weird part is, I'm not proud on that, but there was a time I had my own tattoo machine at home. Horrible idea. My legs look
definitely
super bad. Like there were some super hard drunk accidents and stuff.
Ay.
That was the time I had like bit mentally difficulties, and
sure.
When I discovered, like Lil Peep or Juice WRLD and all that artists, and
and especially Lil Peep's tattoos are a lot of them looked very homemade, which I love. I love that scabby, dirty, like crayon look. I love that.
Yeah, and like my tights are full with like small, like a sketchbook in the school,
Yeah.
But the most of them are fine. There's just like this. I kind of tried to do this thing from the Ouija board, and I messed that up so much. And it's like this big, and it looks like shit.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Damn. And that's dangerous. It's dangerous. I thought about getting a tattoo machine as well, because I love drawing. I've been drawing since a kid, but it's mostly like graffiti-based drawings. But I've been thinking about it so many times. Like, okay, just get one at Amazon, like $200. You have it, but I don't want to get infections. I don't want to fuck up my skin. Like, it can be dangerous for sure. It's not something everybody should do, but everybody thinks they can do it,
Okay, that's actually, I never had that fears of infections, but luckily nothing happened.
Good.
And then at one point the tattoo machine broke because it was a cheap one, and I decided like, okay, I don't get a new one. It's better.
Was it like Temu or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cringe, but it is how it is.
Nah, it's not cringe. I think it's fucking hilarious, man. It's everybody on TikTok or Instagram who has their own tattoo machine. They all say like, yeah, either broke or I fucked up myself too much. I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, but I get it. I've done some stick and poke tattoos on myself, and luckily they're not very big, but I mean, I have one that's really shitty,
mm-hmm.
and I'm scared of getting more, because they're on my hands. So it's like,
okay, crazy.
Yeah, I have 5 pretty shitty tattoos on my hand. 6 tattoos actually on my hands. They're very small, but
you have multiple tattoos on your hands. Then they don't like really.
That's true. That's true.
Stand out, if you're having only one real shitty one on the hands, that would be horrific. But if you have like 100 small ones or like 10 small ones and one of them is a shitty one, it doesn't stand out that much. Then
it's true.
Then it's cool again.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a tattoo artist. He's done some work on my arms, and I told him like, oh, I have this. I'm worried that this other tattoo looks kind of weird. What do you suggest? And he just said, get more tattoos. It'll look fine. And I'm like, oh, and it worked. It actually worked. It doesn't look weird anymore. It just looks like part of the puzzle, so to speak.
I have to say the nicest way to get tattoos, it was on the Thailand trip when they do the stick and poke.
Oh, really?
And this is so relaxing.
Really?
And there was this one guy, he's like 70 or something, and he travels all around the world for conventions. I didn't know that, but he lived like in this super hippie wooden house right at the beach and stuff. Such a cool guy. And he had like
amazing.
A needle like 40 or 50 centimeter long, like a really thick bamboo thing. Also with like...
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
With like a little chain on top. And every time he stitches, it makes like this nice rattle noise, like this percussive noise. And man, this guy was so fast. I have like this one. Wait.
Yeah.
And
oh, that's cool.
This took him like an hour.
With that, really?
With the super long bamboo needle. Yeah, like 1 hour. And after it was done, he was like, yeah, wait for an hour and then you're fine. No foil, nothing on that. And then, you can go, just wait 1 hour, then you can go swim with that in the salt water. And I did that. It was like 40 degrees. Of course, I'm going to jump into the ocean.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not even the salt hurted a bit. And it's like now 5 or 6 years and it's like black.
It's so packed very nicely.
Dark.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
The quality is so good. Yeah. And the thing is, when you like, let's say you have a skate accident and you like fall down and you get like the whole skin scraped up. That's what happening when you're tattooing with a machine. Someone explained to me. And by having only this one needle going exactly where it should be, you don't have this...
you don't scratch it.
Yeah, the skin is still totally fine. And it's like when going to the doctor for like giving blood or something, they go with a thin needle in, take some blood, and 10 minutes later it doesn't bleed nothing, and it's perfectly well. And it's kind of like that when doing this stick and poke thing.
That makes sense. That's still crazy to me, though, that you could go for a swim like an hour after.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
That's fucked. I want to do that now because I got a tattoo on I have a flower here on my wrist, and I got it like 3 weeks before I went to a vacation in like South Carolina or North Carolina, and I went in swimming because it'd been like almost a month, so I was like, it's fine. But it didn't get infected, but it got inflamed because of the salt.
Oh yeah.
So for like 2-3 months, it was swollen and like not happy tattoo at all. It was gross.
Yeah.
So I never do that again. Like even if I get a tattoo nowadays, I'll take a shower, obviously, but I'm very careful because I do
soap, nothing.
No, fuck no soap. No, definitely not.
When that was there in Thailand with this old dude. I mean, when someone who's like tattooing for 50 years now or something, tells me that it will be fine, I obviously trusted him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he got like newspaper articles about his work and stuff on the in the frame on the wall. And it was kind of crazy because I was there. I could just like, at first I didn't really found his place, and I used Google Maps to see what's on this little island.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's a tattoo studio? And I was there with, this motorcycle. I just like quickly went, watched. It was such a nice place. Also a bar heading to the ocean. They had like 2 or 3 rooms for like tourists to stay. It was such a lovely place. And he just had like his studio there. And there was like a lady making jewelry and stuff. Like
cool.
Got another atelier next to his studio. Yeah, and it was so lovely. I just like walked in, could get a tattoo done instantly. It was super cheap compared with like Swiss prices. The quality is insane good.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's so expensive everywhere. That's the thing with tattoos. It's so pricey. So you have to make sure that you get what you want, because you're not going to get another tattoo like tomorrow,
Oh, and I don't know how it's you're now still in Vancouver, or have you moved since the
No, I'm still in Vancouver.
School? Okay. I don't know how it's in Vancouver, but here, I mean, I live in the small, compared to other cities, it's a small city. For a Swiss city, it's kind of big. What is it like? Round about 100,000 people maximum.
Oh, okay.
I guess even fewer, around 80 or something. And it was so funny. Like when I got interested in this topic of tattoos with 17, 18, we had like 4 or 5 studios. Now there are like 40 here.
And it happened fast.
And some of them you drove by, they have never any customers, or maybe 1 or 2. No waiting lists and stuff. But also let's say when you go out, go in a bar or something, and you see other people with tattoos, and you think like, oh shit, this looks really bad. I mean, but professionally made bad. Yeah. Not like get a $5 Temu machine and make it yourself bad. More like, oh, got that from a studio.
Yeah, it should not be that bad.
It should not be that bad.
Yeah, I've seen that too here. It's
crazy.
It's sad. Yeah, it's so sad.
I mean, it's cool on the one side that you don't get judged anymore, like let's say 10, 15 years ago. But on the other side, you have now tons of people with like super bad tattoos.
And, I know, and they're so young too.
And the worst ones that you see is always at the gym. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, or the nightclub. Like I've never been much for nightclubs, but I've seen especially younger people who have just the neck done and the hands and nothing else.
Oh yeah, that's so weird. Oh man.
And they have like skeleton hands and like a rose and a clock. I'm just like,
oh yeah, the flower on the neck is like, that's so basic.
I know, and especially if you only have that, like I want to get my neck done when I don't have any more space, because that feels natural. Okay, I'll do that then. But yeah, I've seen so many like tough guys with only all this here, but nothing else. It's fucking, it's so terrible. I have to
weird.
See what time it is.
Oh yeah, sure. We're already in a long ass discussion.
Oh shit! When did we start? 11:30.
2 hours and 3 minutes ago.
Oh, man, it went by so fast.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know why, but also the last recording, I usually aim for like between 60 and 90 minutes. But now it's already the 2nd or 3rd episode around the 2 hours line. It's getting this Joe Rogan length.
Yeah.
But probably I should just like keep it by. Why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if the conversation keeps going, then why not?
But if you have to run, just let me know.
Yeah, I need to go pee, and I need to go back to work in a bit.
Okay, then let's just like make 2-3 more minutes for my last question. I don't know if you have listened to the episodes back, but I always have this one last question. That if you could give any like good advice for the listeners, something that can make their life better, it can be related to any topic, what would it be?
I think the biggest thing I realized in my journey as a person who makes music is not everything has to become a product. Like if you have an idea that you just want to record, make sure that you record it for yourself first. And if you want to release it, you are absolutely allowed to, but it shouldn't be the only reason why you create something. It's the same if you want to paint something. It doesn't have to be shown to anybody. You know, you could, but you don't have to. Because I think a lot of people put unnecessary pressure on themselves that they have to become famous or rich making music or art. Like fame, honestly, seems like a nightmare to me. And money is obviously amazing, but there are so many other ways of making money than music. Like music is the hardest thing you could sell. So I think make art for the sake of making art. Have fun doing it. If you're not having fun, take a break. Nobody's going to be like, what happened to Aksel? He never makes music anymore. It's like, just let Aksel be Aksel. Let Anton be Anton. Like it's not, nobody's going to die, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. It's just music. It's just sound. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Not everything has to be a product. And if you're not having fun, make something else, take a break from it. And yeah, just have fun, man. It's called playing for a reason. So just play, just have fun with it.
Oh man, that's such an amazing thing you just said. Yeah, I can totally agree. And it's also something that I have to kind of take for myself because yeah, that was how do I say, also really helpful for me. Thanks for that. That's
of course, yeah.
And you said it so wonderful.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
That's amazing. So thanks, yeah, bro. And thanks a lot for being on here.
A pleasure. Thank you for having me, man.
And I would say, if you're up for this and if you had fun, let's repeat that, like
absolutely.
In a while.
Absolutely.
And yeah, then we can also like exchange what we learned meanwhile, or what happened, or maybe till then we have our first song made. That would be so fantastic.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too. Okay, then I wish you a wonderful day. Good time
you
at
as
work.
Well, man.
Yeah, I probably hop to bed soon.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, thanks for listening, and we hear us next week again. Peace.
Sounds good. Thank you, Anton.
Thank you, Aksel.